Hey, what's up guys, so Emanon here, and welcome to another feature match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be another round 1 feature match from the 9th edition of my online Discord tournament, and this time it's going to be between Godly Naru YT on Ancient Warriors actually, versus Dark Albert on Buster Blader. And if you guys do want to go ahead and partake in the next tournament, feel free to go and check out my Discord server where the signups will go live whenever that ends up starting. The link is in the description as usual. So let's go start with this matchup without any further ado. So it looks like the players are going to tie a whole bunch before Buster Blader is going to take the RPS win. So they're going to decide to go first this match. And then the opening hand for Buster Blader going first is going to be Buster Whelp, Super Poly, Nadir Servant, Ash, and Prologue. So opening hand looks really good from them. They have both parts of their engine, like both of the good starters here. So that gets you access to the Buster Lock as well as the just Dogmatica package in general. Also has some strong defensive cards. Curious as to what the Super Poly targets are going to be here. And then the opening hand for the Ancient Warrior deck going second is going to be Loyal Guan Yun, Fearsome Zhang Zhuan, 3 Visits, Prosperity, and Tenki. So this hand looks pretty good. I can't really comment too much on it because, again, I'm not super well versed in this deck. But I do know that Guan Yun is a pretty decent go second card, because it's kind of like a pseudo Pankratops. It's not actually as good as Pankratops, but it's decent. And then Tenki gets you 2 cards like Sunmo, which is more consistency, alongside 3 Visits, and then Prosperity can fix the hand. So even though there's no dedicated go second cards in this hand, it could be decent. So we are going to see the Buster Blader player kick things off with a normal summon of Buster Whelp. That's going to activate its effect for a copy of Prologue here, and then going to link it away for a copy of Link Haribo, followed by Nadir Servant. That's going to send Titanic to go and search for Ecclesia. And then they're going to special summon the Ecclesia by her own effect, and then use that to go and search for a copy of Dogmatica Punishment. And then afterwards, they're going to go and set 3, and then go to end phase, where they'll trigger this copy of Titaniclad for a Fleur-de-Lis. So overall, really good. They have, obviously, the discard for Super Poly here. They have the Buster Lock online. They have Punishment. They have Fleur-de-Lis. They have Ash. So lots and lots of interruptions. So we're going to see a Rivalry top deck from the Ancient Warriors player, which is a pretty reasonable floodgate to play since, of course, they are all Beast Warriors. Starting things out with a copy of Pot of Prosperity. That's going to banish 6. Let's actually look at those. So we see Winda, Hcabe, LP, Dodo, Striker, and a copy of Double Dragon Lords. I imagine this is like 3 of here. So I guess that means they're playing Reaper. I don't have their deck lists in front of me, but that is a pretty interesting decision if that is the case. I can't really think of any other reason to play these cards, so it has to be Ghost Reaper somewhere. But Prosperity gets ashed there, and then we're going to see a follow-up Tenki, so it's going to grab a search for a copy of Sun Mo. And then they're going to activate 3 Visits, followed by normal summoning the Sun Mo. And then since that was summoned, they're going to go and trigger the 3 Visits. So that goes and targets the Sun Mo and adds a different Ancient Warrior from deck to hand. So the pick is going to be the Yugioh Kong. And then since it was added from deck to hand via an Ancient Warriors card, that can go and special summon itself to the field. And since an Ancient Warriors monster was activated, the Sun Mo triggers for another search. So that is going to go and... sorry, that's actually the wrong effect. I was reading the wrong effect there. This is actually the effect to balance a card if another Ancient Warriors monster effect is activated. The effect to search is by sending a card from hand or field to grave. So mix those 2 up by mistake. Again, I'm not super well versed in this deck, but that's going to be negated by Fleur-de-Lis, it looks like. Followed up with a copy of Prologue, and then they're going to chain the Memories in Graveyard, since of course this card sends for cost. So out comes the Fusion Buster Blader, followed by the Buster Dragon, and then the Fleur-de-Lis is going to summon itself as well. So that's going to switch everything to defense position from the opponent's side, and they all become dragons, of course, due to Buster Dragon, and then this is negated via the Fleur-de-Lis. So they're going to then just set Rivalry and pass. We are going to see a top-decked Trap Trick for turn. So Rivalry is going to be used immediately in standby phase. This is going to actually wipe the entire board since... the Buster Destroyer Swordsman is a warrior, and the Dogmaticas are spellcasters. I actually thought this might have been a spellcaster, but it's not. So there goes the entire field. The Buster Dragon would have left due to Prologue, of course, in the end phase of this turn, so they just want to keep a monster on board. So they're going to just go straight to battle phase. They're going to attack into the Yugioh Kong, but in damage step, the Fearsome Zhang Zhuan is going to then be summoned, which reduces the monster's attack by 1,000 and also gives battle protection to all your other Ancient Warriors monsters. So that is also pretty good. And it also has a pop effect if your opponent's cards get destroyed by battle or card effect. Sort of like Unchained Abomination almost. So going to then go and lose 200 off that since it's now 18. And then going to go and proceed to use punishment still in the battle phase. So that's going to then be met with the Yugioh Kong, since this can actually negate spells and traps if you have a face of Ancient Warrior's continuous spell or trap. And it's also a monster negate if you have Liu Xuan, but that's on the field right now. But they're just going to go and give up the 3 visits to negate punishment. And then visits allows you to special summon one from hand when it gets set from the field to the grave, I believe. So yeah, spell and trap zone to grave. So that's going to go and summon the Guan Yun from hand. And then Trap Trick's going to be set in main phase 2. And they're just going to pass. So I wonder if that means that they're only on the singular copy of either Buster Blader or the Memories, which is possible. I do know a lot of lists that play 2, though. The other thing could maybe be that they want to keep this in hand still for Super Poly. Not sure, again, what the targets are, especially while they're under Rivalry. So, yeah, interesting that they kept this in hand. But we are going to see a copy of the East by South Winds. I always have to read this card because I never remember its effect. So during the main phase, you can toss a coin. If the result is heads, you can send it to the grave. And if it's sent from the spell and trap zone to the grave, you can make it so your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to your Ancient Warrior card effects. And also, until the end of this turn, they gain the effect to destroy a card your opponent controls on attack declaration without targeting. That is really good. So we are going to see the South Winds. I guess it has to hit heads in order for that to actually happen. So it's reliant on the coin toss, which does hit. So South Winds is going to give all the Ancient Warriors a bit of a boost there. We're going to see Double Dragon Lords being activated. It's interesting that they haven't actually used the Sun Mo effect at all to go for a search, since this can send the tanky away. I wonder if they value the attack boost, or just if they didn't want to use the effect to play around certain cards. But the Double Dragon Lords is going to grab a search on summon for a copy of Rebellious Liu Feng. And then that is going to then be summoned. And then that's going to go and just be the end of the match. Or the end of the game, not the end of the match yet. It's only game 1. Getting a bit ahead of myself here. But yeah, Ancient Warriors takes game number 1 here in pretty convincing fashion. Actually breaking the entire Buster lock and playing through the Dogmatica engine with Rivalry plus engine cards. So good stuff. So moving into game 2, it looks like Buster Blader is going to kick things off here. If you guys are enjoying this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this. But the opening hand for Buster Blader going first again is going to be Nadir's Servant, Call by the Grave, Cosmic Cyclone, Prologue, and Phantasme. So this could eventually... Actually, this is a pretty good hand because Handclad is the dragon, so you can just send it off Servant and then go for the Buster Blader play there. They also have Cosmic, probably because of the Rivalry in the main deck, which definitely put in a lot of work last game. But yeah, this hand looks good again. And then the opening hand for Ancient Warriors, going second again, is going to be double copies of Sun Mo, Loyal Guan Yu, Droll and Lockbird, and Rebellious Liu Feng. So this hand looks pretty decent. Droll is historically nice against Nadir's Servant, but they do have Call by the Grave for it. So we'll see again what they can accomplish going second with primarily just engine cards. Starting things out with the Servant, that's going to go and send to Tentaclad and then search for Ecclesia. They're going to activate Drill and Resolution, but that is going to get swiftly negated by Call by. And then Ecclesia going to be normal summon next. That's going to go and net a copy of Punishment from deck to hand. And then they're going to set 3, go to end phase, and go for the Fleur de Lis. So again, a lot of interruptions here. So the top deck is going to be Prosperity from the side of Ancient Warriors, which is pretty nice to help kind of fix this hand. Accidentally banish face up there, but going to go and banish 6 again. Let's see if they're the same ones as last time. They actually are the exact same. So that's going to reveal 6, and then they could pick up... I'm not really sure what you pick up here again. I don't really know the best line of play in this deck. So Rivalry is going to be the pickup. Put in a lot of work last match, so understandable. Although, again, they have Cosmic this time around for it. Everything else gets put back, and then they're going to go and summon the Guan Yun here. And then they're going to null summon the Sun Mo. And use the effect, sending the other one for a search. And then they're going to actually chain Prologue instead of doing it on summon. So that actually doesn't negate the Sun Mo, since the Buster Fusion only prevents activations. Or rather, yeah, it prevents activations. It doesn't negate effects. So everything will be switched to defense, but this still resolves. Okay, yeah, and they are aware of it, yeah. So Sunmo does get a search here for, I believe that was a Zhangzhuan. They're then going to just set Rivalry and then pass. End phase, Cosmic Cyclone is going to just get rid of it, and that will be the end of game 2. All right, you know what? Fair enough. These were pretty short games, but I guess they so far have lived off the back of Rivalry. I watched these games a little while ago, and I kind of forgot what happened, but regardless, that's kind of just what the game can come down to sometimes. But we're now going to move into game 3, and before we do, just want to shout out my patrons as usual. So thank you all so much for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. The long form and consistent content is made possible thanks to you guys. And if you are interested in supporting the Patreon, feel free to go ahead and check it out in the description box below. We're actually really close to achieving our $50 milestone, which will be a live stream once a week. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to come in, pitch like $1 or so, and we will be good to go. But anyways, let's not waste any more time and get into game number 3. So the opening hand for the Ancient Warrior deck going first this time is going to be Drone Lockbird, Sunmo, Tenki, Rivalry, and 3 Visits. These are like all the same cards every game. Definitely a solid hand for sure. Then the opening hand for Buster Blade going second is going to be Servant, Punishment, Cosmic Cyclone, the Destruction Sword Memories, and Fleur de Lis. So drawing a couple of suboptimal cards here. But Servant is notoriously strong at breaking boards. Cosmic is good as a response to, again, the Rivalry that was drawn here. And they have some defensive cards, so it's not the end of the world. So we're going to see an activation, activation of 3 Visits, followed by a normal summon of Sunmo. That's going to go and trigger the 3 Visits for a copy of the Zhuge Kong. And then that effect's going to activate special summoning itself. And then Sunmo is then going to send away the 3 Visits. That's going to go for a copy of Guan Yun. I'm making sure I'm reading this correctly. You can send any card from hand or field to grave. It doesn't have to be an Ancient Warrior. So if they get like activated Tenki and then sent it away instead of like getting rid of this. But regardless, we are going to go and see the Guan Yun being summoned off of the 3 Visits. Maybe that's why they want to do it, is to sequence it this way. They're then going to go for a copy of the Double Dragon Lords, and then that effect's going to go for a search for Rebellious Lu Feng. And then they're going to go and summon it, setting 2 cards, choosing not to use Tenki at all, interestingly, and then pass. We are going to see a top deck Trap Trick, which is a pretty decent card for going second, actually, here, considering how trap heavy the hand is already. We are going to see Nadir's Servant come down. That's going to send a copy of Entis from the extra deck to the grave to search for a copy of Ecclesia. Draw is going to be activated on the resolution of that. And then that is going to be in chain to Entis. So Entis Chainlink 1, Droll Chainlink 2, going to pop the Guan Yun. Choosing not to go for the Lu Feng. They are going to summon out the Ecclesia. And then they're going to set 4 and then go to end phase and pass. They choose not to use the Lu Feng to pop there. Maybe that's to play around something like Triple Tactics Talent, which could realistically be played in this deck. So yeah, not really any points to just popping the Ecclesia, although they should have the read that Fleur de Lis is in hand, since they summoned her under Droll. And yeah, this could possibly be used to maybe force that out. We're going to see a copy of the Valiant Zhang Dai being drawn for turn, followed by a copy of Tenki. So that's going to grab a search for a copy of the Sunmo. And then they're going to normal summon the Sunmo, followed it up by a copy of Zhang Dai since they control 2 or more Ancient Warriors monsters. Punishment is going to be used in response. That's going to go and target the Double Dragon Lords here. Yeah, and they are going to chain the Dragon Lord's effect to go and bounce Ecclesia. And yeah, which they kind of went over in chat a bit, but because the Dragon Lords won't be on field when punishment resolves, it can't check the attack stats, so it cannot send anything. But we are going to see Fleur de Lis used in response, followed by Lu Feng to go and pop Ecclesia. Trap Trick's going to be chained in response to that, so big chain link, just huge chain link. I actually can't remember what the chain ended up being. Okay, it was Zhang Dai Chainlink 1, and then Punishment Chainlink 2, and then Dragon Lord's Chainlink 3, and then it was Fleur de Lis Chainlink 4, Lu Feng Chainlink 5, and Trap Trick Chainlink 6. So I'm pretty sure that's how the chain went down. We are going to see the prologue being the pick off Trap Trick, and then the Zhang Dai resolves here. And then we're going to follow that up with a copy of Sunmo. That's going to go and send a copy of the Tenki here. Does it only bounce monsters? It does. Okay. They're going to... okay. On resolution, they're going to go and use the prologue. Have my chat scroll down a bit here. But prologue is going to be used... and a destruction can banish either on a new chain or it can be in the same chain. Doesn't matter. because it sends for cost, it can be in the same chain. Could do on the same chain. Are you chaining something since the chance of respawning goes to you? Yep, they can activate fast effects right now, and they choose not to. Yeah, they actually don't have a dragon in their graveyard. Yeah, so they actually can't chain this. I just realized. That's pretty interesting that they went for this then. Maybe they thought they had a dragon and just didn't realize until like right now, which is a little bit unfortunate. But we are going to see Sunmo being activated. That's going to send away Tenki for a copy of the Zhangzhuan. They're going to switch Lu Feng to attack position and then go for Zhang Dai. And then this is 300 attack, right? Or 300 attack boost, so 3k attack total. And then Lu Feng and the Sunmo are going to go and be attacking here as well. Yeah, it wasn't game, but this was summon. I was just trying to make sure. They're going to go and proceed to main phase 2. They're going to go for double Dragon Lords here, and then use the effect that's going to grab a copy of Chivalrous Path. I actually have not read this one yet. If an Ancient Warriors monster you would be destroyed by battle, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. You can use each effect once per turn. If your opponent special summons a monster except during damage step, you can special summon a token. When a card or effect is activated that targets an Ancient Warriors on your field, you can banish this card from grave to negate the activation. So it's some protection here. Pretty interesting for sure. Gonna go and set it, and then end phase Cosmic's gonna be used. It's gonna actually target the Chivalrous Path. So they wanted to out this, which is pretty fascinating. I'm not really sure if that presented as much of a problem as something like an impending rivalry, but I think that the Ancient Warrior is far enough ahead in resources that it probably won't matter here. We'll just have to wait and see. Gonna draw a copy of the Buster Blader for turn 1. Drawing both Memories and the Buster Blader is not what you want to see. They're gonna go for Ecclesia here and then use the Memories affecting Grave. At least they did get a Dragon in Grave thanks to Buster Dragon leaving the field. But Rivalry gonna go and be activated. There's no more lethal targets, so they're gonna go for the Dragon Lords here. So let's see. The Zhangzhuan is at the start of the damage step, but this actually I think is on attack declaration, right? Yeah, so it's actually not an issue of damage step here. Oh, looks like they figured that out. And that's just gonna be a concession. So this will go to 3k. This will go to, or this will hit the board, and then that's gonna make it become 2k. And then they won't be able to be destroyed by battle because of the Zhangzhuan as well. Yeah, so that's actually gonna be Ancient Warriors. Wow, I actually didn't expect the game to end that way right there, but there you have it. So Ancient Warriors taking this match 2-1 over Buster Blader. Pretty cool stuff. The deck actually didn't really have that many Go Second cards. There was Droll games 2 and 3. Sure, but I think Rivalry put in a lot of work, definitely. But the cards actually have some cool going second tools, even beyond just the Guan Yu. They have ways to just kind of spam the board to help kind of go into a simplified game state, and then you have like a pop, and you have like cards a bounce there. So not bad at all. And then Buster Blade is another cool deck that I'm like somewhat surprised we haven't seen more of, just because again like Dragon Link is pretty popular, but there are also a lot of ways to kind of deal with the Buster Lock now. That I think that deck is a pretty interesting meta call, but maybe it's not the best format for it. I think the previous time where Dragon Link was like the best deck back in like September, October 2020 was when this deck really had its time to shine. But overall, I think it was a pretty good display of both decks. So that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me with links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.